So the other day when I was listening to the CSS Podcast Shadows episode, Adam Argyle mentioned something rather interesting, which was that in the real world, when you pick an object up off a surface, the shadow that forms beneath the object actually retracts in size. And he said that the spread property of our box shadow CSS can actually be used with a negative value to retract the edges of the box shadow. And to be honest, I didn't even know that you could use a negative value for the spread. So I thought it'd be fun to sit down and try this out for myself to see if it really does create a more natural, more organic sense of depth when you rise an object up off the surface of the page. So to experiment with this, I have two tiles, one that's not going to be using a spread, and then one that's going to be using a negative 5 pixel spread. And you can see that we have our box shadow here, and we're going to be transitioning the box shadow and the transform over half a second. And when you hover over one of the tiles, we're going to translate it, so move it vertically up on the page. And then we're going to be increasing the border radius, the X offset and the border radius of that box shadow to simulate that depth of motion there. And then this second one is going to be using that negative 5 pixel spread, and the other one's just going to be using 0. So let's jump over into the browser and see what this looks like. So here, when we hover over, you can see this is sort of our typical, we're just showing the box shadow as it would be, no spread options enabled, right? And then here with the negative 5 pixel spread. So you can see the difference is very subtle, right? The edges of the shadow here are coming in a little bit underneath the tile, 5 pixels on each side. It's just to compare them back to back. Right, the difference is very subtle, but I think Adam is right. I think this does have a slightly more organic feel to it. You can see that shadow retracting the same way that it might in the real world. So anyway, again, I didn't even know that you could use negative values for the spread. Honestly, I don't even use the spread very often. And this was a fun little experiment here to see for myself. So hopefully this is interesting. Definitely check out the CSS podcast. I feel like I'm coming away with new little tidbits on every episode. So great effort that they're putting out there. Adam and Una, thank you so much.